if you were a good student in high school or a bad student in high school, you can understand this. I'm going to read what's in dispute, what's in question. Suspension of entry or imposition of restrictions by the president. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation, and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens, right? That's what it says. It's not like, again, a bad high school student would understand this. Anybody would understand this. Courts seem to be so political, and it would be so great for our justice system if they would be able to read a statement and do what's right.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Klayman. You know me as the founder of both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, and I'm a former federal prosecutor. I'm now the chairman of Freedom Watch. Over the years, I've seen the inequities and the politicization of the judiciary, and that's why I've started this Judicial Selection Strike Force Coalition. You can go to judicialstrikeforcecoalition.org or freedomwatchusa.org to see what I'm talking about. We are vetting and recommending judges to President Trump because there are over 100 vacancies in our lower courts, and these judges are filled with politicians in robes. In fact, President Trump just this morning made reference to that with regard to his immigration order, which calls for a moratorium for 90 days on immigration from 7 primarily majority Muslim countries. There's nothing wrong with this. It's totally proper under both statutory law and the Constitution. But a hack judge in Seattle, a federal judge by the name of Robart, preliminarily enjoined it through a temporary restraining order. It's now up at the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit is a very leftist court. There's some good judges on the Ninth Circuit, but most of them are ultra-leftist. And yesterday, the appeal of Judge Robart's order came before the Ninth Circuit. And I was listening to it on audio, as much of the world was, and I was listening to the Justice Department lawyer argue on behalf of President Trump. Now, it's clear that this lawyer was chosen by the current Attorney General designate, who happens to be still an Obama person. He was appointed by Obama. He was the U.S. Attorney for Virginia. And this individual obviously put this Justice Department lawyer in there to argue, knowing that he wasn't very good. Frankly, he has a stutter, and I feel bad for him in that regard. I think I was up against him in the NSA case at one time. And he was inarticulate and not prepared. It was clear that the current acting Attorney General, who had been appointed by Obama because Jeff Sessions, the new Attorney General, has yet to be confirmed thanks to Democrat construction, had put someone in who he knew was likely to lose. In addition to that, we heard very pointed questions from the three-judge panel, showing a bias in favor of affirming the illegal and unconstitutional order of Judge Robart that stopped Trump's 90-day moratorium. Now, President Trump spoke this morning, and he talked about the politicization in the judiciary and how they make rulings not on the basis of law anymore, by and large, but on the basis of their own political predilections. Now, I've seen this for many years. I've been a lawyer for almost 40 years, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's why I started Judicial Watch. It's why I continue doing what I'm doing with Freedom Watch. It's why we have the Judicial Selection Strike Force Coalition to recommend honest, uncompromised, and judges who will follow the Constitution and the rule of law, whatever their political ideology. It shouldn't make a difference. But in today's world, you can go into court and make the same exact argument, come in front of 2 different judges and get 2 different decisions on the same day in the same case. This shows that we have what we call judicial tyranny. Judges are our most important public servants. They were envisioned to have lifetime tenure by the Founding Fathers to protect us from the tyranny of the other 2 branches of government. But because they have lifetime tenure, these new judges that have been appointed, particularly by President Clinton and President Obama, and some of the Bush appointees, in fact, Judge Robart in Seattle is a Bush appointee, W. appointed some really bad judges too. These judges, because they have lifetime tenure, think they can do whatever they want. And the House Judiciary Committee has rarely, if ever, impeached anyone for perverting the rule of law. They're going to have to start doing that. So I wanted to explain this to you because whatever happens at the Ninth Circuit, and Freedom Watch on your behalf filed what's called an amicus curiae brief, a friend of the court brief, setting forth the law and why Judge Robart's order in Seattle was illegal and unconstitutional and should be overturned, and why the 90-day moratorium on immigration from 7 predominantly Muslim countries should go into effect to protect our national security. Please read that brief. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. But the bigger issue here are the judges in our system. Because what we have primarily today are political hacks on the bench, politicians in robes, politicians who serve the interests of those who got them appointed to their position as judge. And that is extremely dangerous. You know, we fought a revolution primarily because King George III took our criminal justice system away from the colonies and sent it back to the courts of London. Today, we have a similar situation, and maybe even worse, because we no longer primarily have judges who will enforce the rule of law, are in fact acting as Congress in enacting new laws, and that's not their role. That's called judicial activism. So I wanted to explain this to you, and please support what we're doing at freedomwatchusa.org and our judicialstrikeforce.org website. Go there, please donate. We need your help. It's a coalition. We have some very prominent former judges and public interest groups as part of that coalition. Because if we don't have good judges, we're going to see situations as occur over and over again, like we saw with Judge Robarts. You know, the left knows that because 70% or more of the current federal judges were appointed by Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, they're going to file case after case after case. We're going to be there at Freedom Watch to intervene in those cases, to do whatever we can to make sure justice is done. But this is a stark and excellent example of how the left, using the hack judges which Clinton and Obama have put on the bench, are going to use the judiciary and the justice system to pervert the rule of law and move this country far, far left to a socialist, atheist, and otherwise completely destructive state. Our republic will be destroyed. So please support us, because we need these better judges. And please support Freedom Watch, because you need a Freedom Watch to intervene, to take strong action, to allow President Trump to make America great again. And you know, we'll be critical when we have to be, but this president deserves a chance, and we the people need to support him right now. And the left, whether it's these judges or whether it's the leftist media, and we have a leftist media strike force, anytime the left makes a statement which is defamatory and actionable, and we have a client, we're going to bring suit. So please support us, freedomwatchusa.org, judicialselectionstrikeforce.org. God bless you. God bless your family. God save America.